So,
Welcome back, SpeedChat Plus. This isn't the 9th time I've tried recording this. I need a haircut.
and your computer needs some love
I
because
fixed it. Don't worry, I fixed it.
your your hair needs a barber, my hair needs a barber, and I think your computer might also need a barber
My
at this
computer
point.
needs a barber real bad. All right, quick story time. Here we go. I tried recording this 4 times, and every time I got an encoder overload, and it made the
Wait,
screen really choppy and
like dot
bad.
dot dot
Like that. Like yeah,
PowerPoint. Yeah.
exactly.
We
And
didn't talk too much. It was just the intro that kept bop
I
bop bop.
noticed it
So
right away, so we fixed it, and all I did to fix it was downscale my recording from the typical 1440p recording to 1080p. So if we're in slightly
that
less
will help.
resolution, I'm so sorry. All the other episodes are in 1440p, but I guess my computer is having a conniption or something, so I gotta clean it out or whatever.
I
So.
mean, like going down to 1080p is like the only acceptable option. Going down to like 720p or anything lower than that is a little.
I mean, can you imagine still watching videos in 480p like they had them back in what
Could you imagine
2008?
watching videos in 144p?
Bro, there were videos that were straight up 8 pixels, and we watched the heck out of those.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
remember I think it was 2014 when YouTube finally allowed it 60 FPS videos. It was revolutionary. It was the
oh yeah,
biggest jump. It was crazy. Everybody was freaking out. And now over the past 5 or 6, 7 years they've been allowing 1440 4K videos and 360 videos. You see those 360 videos that you drag around and you can look all
yeah,
around? Those are sick.
yeah. They're pretty funky.
Yeah. Anyway, hi Michael. Hi.
Hi, Aaron.
What's up?
How
How
are
are
you
you doing?
doing?
I'm doing good.
I asked first.
I'm
Okay, you're doing good.
I'm doing good. I had Taco Bell last night, so I'm doing good.
What was the order?
Carly got her usual. She got a cheese quesadilla that they put chicken into, and she complained, and they gave her $10 off her next order. And then
Hey,
I got the dusted Diablo chicken nuggets,
I've
and
been eyeing those. Are they
those are
good?
solid. The Diablo dust is really good, but it's the chicken itself is hit and miss with quality. Some of the
Mm,
chicken nuggets, you bite into it and it's this real luscious white meat chicken, and other times you bite into it and it's just all crust, and it's
mm,
hard and crusty. Maybe that's just my
mm.
local Taco Bell because I don't think it's intended to be that way. But sometimes
Uh-huh.
you just get a mouthful of breading and not good soft yummy
Yeah.
breading. It's it's crunchy and hard and tastes like the bottom of the fryer.
Yeah, right, right.
Anyway, how are you? What are you up to?
Well, tonight I'm going to the airport
You
because what else is new?
are.
I am. I am going to. I'm wearing the swag because it's what I do. It's on
It's
brand.
another dream hack. Let's
It's another dream
go.
hack. Literally, Dreamhack Atlanta happened over Halloween, so it hasn't even been a full year. But they're doing it. Long story short, in May because normally Dreamhack goes to Dallas in May.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I'd be going to see my family and hanging out with them and dragging my sister to the conference. But
Mm-hmm.
the convention center is being some of it's being demolished for major renovations right now.
And the other
So
half's
that's
being fumigated. They got roaches.
they yeah,
No,
right.
but seriously.
So yeah, that's gonna be going on for a few years. So Atlanta is now when the Dallas show was, and they're dragging all the esports that were in Dallas over to Atlanta,
And
like
you're
the Call
familiar
of
with
Duty
Atlanta. You've
Major.
been there several times. MomoCon,
I've
other dream
yeah,
hacks.
yeah, TuneFest happened at MomoCon a few years ago, and the funny thing about MomoCon this year, it is the week after DreamHack. So it
Just
is
stay an extra week.
I have thought about it, but right now I have a flight home, and I don't know if I'm going to MomoCon. It's expensive to fly across the country twice, but
Mm-hmm.
if something comes up, maybe I'll go. But otherwise,
You gotta
right
email
now
them while
I
you're there. You're like, hey,
don't
I'm
know.
in the neighborhood. Just make me a special guest, and I'll do 4 panels for you.
Yeah, right. Well, unfortunately, MomoCon does their special guest stuff well in advance, and I would know because the year
Mm-hmm.
after TuneFest, I got invited as a VIP
I
special
do
guest,
remember that. And then
and
you're
then
like, I
Toontown
can't
went.
make it because of Toonfest.
Well, I went because
You did go. That's right.
yeah, because
You
I
went
went a day
Saturday,
for I
Sunday.
went a day of Oklahoma City or two, and then I jetted straight from there to Atlanta. So it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of wild, but yeah, but Atlanta's busy. You know what else they had last weekend? A furry convention. So it
You were a
is
week
very busy.
late.
I
Can't
was a
believe
week.
it.
Yeah, man,
Should have been there
that's
all
tough.
3 weeks.
I should have just spent the month in Atlanta.
Dude, at this point,
Yeah.
move to Atlanta, all right? Come on.
No, you see the traffic out there? It is
you,
abysmal. And
you
if
see the
anyone
cost of
listening,
living? Ugh.
yeah, oh man, if y'all are from Atlanta, you know. And trust me, I know. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I will be at DreamHack with a very busy schedule, which is going to be kind of cool. Could I actually toss that up on the screen for you?
Yeah, sure. You want to do that right now?
Do a little shout out. I mean, this will probably go up by the time Atlanta's already happening. But I get my own little fancy little page with my bio, and then my little schedule is down there, and I'm
Dude, they got to
busy.
keep upping this, bro. You're raising money literally
Okay,
every day. Is it like
I
160 now? Did you
I
cross that
I
threshold yet?
I just checked it like a day or two ago, and it is
Mm.
over
They
160.
need to update it. They're behind.
Yeah, right. Gotta get them to change one number before the weekend,
They might have
or
to
else
change this number as well. I don't know. Has it been? I think it's been like 14 years now.
it's been 13 plus since
Okay,
2012.
I guess with the plus. The plus is what covers them, right? They could put
Actually,
2+ and it would still technically be
yeah.
right.
Well, I think you're on track though because this summer would mark 14 years. So you're actually
Ah.
right. So I just unfortunately don't have it in my memory vault the exact date that I like did that first Toontown stream where like 30 people crowded me in game and it was like my first live stream ever and I had
You
no
were
idea
popular
what
from
to
your
do.
very first stream.
Literally. So, yeah, we are about, I have to change that number in a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a panel to kick off the show and like
Mm-hmm.
help creators actually learn like networking collaboration strategies. And then I'm like playing a bunch of games. So I'm doing Super Battle Golf while I'm there,
Twice.
twice because, you know, it's so nice. I'm playing it twice. And then I'm
True.
hosting Jackbox, specifically the Survey Scramble game. So, just something
Nice.
nice for people to come play during the Creator Hub area if they swing by. The only things that are being streamed are the Super Battle Golf sessions, though. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. This is my fifth consecutive DreamHack Atlanta. Reno's very excited to hear about that.
You excited about?
Um,
Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna. Here, look. He's chilling on my desk. He's having a good time. He's having a great time.
Aw.
He's staring intently at the window because he hears something.
Uh, well, you know, I don't mind if we have a special guest on the podcast today. Yeah,
He's a good boy.
Reno's cute.
He's a good
Um,
boy.
Yo, DreamHack Reno win.
Yo, you going to Dreamhack? Going to Dreamhack?
He's like,
He doesn't
what?
care.
He don't care.
Nope.
uh, but yeah, my first DreamHack in Atlanta was 2022. So I have pretty much gone to everyone since, and I'm excited to go back and follow me, I guess, if you
Follow him
want from that
everywhere, guys.
page.
Everywhere. Literally, even on Twitter that is stinky and bad. Follow him there too.
Yeah, stinky bad.
Stinky
But
bad Twitter.
yeah, so that's where I'll be this weekend. Uh, you know, the con life stays conning. And
It's what? I'm sorry. It's what? You're conning people? Is this money actually going
huh?
to charity?
That's so
Better be.
bad. It better
Yeah,
be.
it better be.
Yeah, you know, after 9 years, it better be, right? Of this St. Jude fundraising.
$150,000 is a lot of money, Michael.
Yeah, we're pretty much at $8,000 this year already for St. Jude. So
Congratulations.
thank you very much. So we're gonna keep it going all month long. Very excited.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm up to. That's my very long-winded answer of what I'm up to.
That's all right. You're always up to a lot more than I am. I wake up in my bedroom and then I walk over to this seat and then I'm recording and editing and playing video games and then I get up and go to bed. That's what I do most days.
I wake up in my bedroom. I come to the seat in my bedroom. I stream in my bedroom, and then I go to sleep in my bedroom.
You got an even
That's my day.
shorter commute. Look at you.
Yeah, 5 steps. Phew.
I mean, I try at least to like take little walks every single day. Today I didn't quite make it, so in lieu I played some
Yeah.
Beat Saber, and I downloaded
Ooh.
some of the Huntrix songs from K-pop Demon Hunter, and those were pretty
Ooh.
good. But I want to share a picture that I got yesterday because it's really cute, and I put it on my Instagram story, and I'm gonna share it with you guys now because I can. Because I mean, what else is this podcast for other than to indulge in our own like fun little adventures?
No.
I saw these geese and they got their little baby geese and they were like teaching their little baby geese to swim. It was really, really, really cute. It was
That's so
I had to
pretty.
take a picture. It was just such a moment. I loved it.
Oh, that is very pretty.
Okay, but now let's talk about gaming. Sorry, I got off track. Sometimes I get distracted by cute animals. All right, so
Oh, it's all good. Please keep showing all the cute
more
animals you
cute
find.
animals, right? All right, let's get into the gaming though. It's gaming time. So
It's
this
time for the
I'm
news.
gonna share my funky clip of the week, and this is actually from a new
Oh yeah.
indie dev that's creating a game where the first thing they showcased was this video right here, where people are like, "Oh, that's kind of crazy. It looks like this hyper realism when it comes to graphics in this video
Oh
game."
yeah.
And the way that they were able to get rid of it, or like get away with this, is that it actually is a recorded person. They were taking like green screen footage and importing that into their game.
Wow.
So in this game, I don't exactly know what it is because it's in Russian, but you
Right.
play as this vendor who has this little shop, and people come up
Yeah.
and they want to buy stuff from you. So you got to go through your shop and sell them the items that they want, like a little convenience store, right? And the big gimmick is the fact that all of these people do look kind of hyper realistic because they are in fact real people that they shot with a
Wow.
green screen and have them standing in line and then walking up and interacting with each other, taking their turns and stuff like that. And so maybe this isn't like the best looking visual you've ever seen in your life, but it is
No.
unique. And
Yeah.
it further shows that indie developers are pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Even though this isn't like the best thing you've ever seen, I could see other developers taking inspiration and being able to take it one step further and turn it into something truly magical.
What do you think that would actually look like?
I think, if anything, because right now you can tell like he sticks out a little bit. They did a pretty good job of
He's got
trying to
like
get.
that outline that
Yeah, he's got that little
Toontown.
outline where you
Oh
can
yeah.
tell like maybe he doesn't belong there, and that you can
Hmm.
tell maybe it's a
Hmm.
little green screen. Like if you look at it at first, you're like, okay, that's kind of interesting. When I tell you it's green screened, you're like, okay, yeah, that's green screened. But
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be people who have better technology or better editing skills to be able to make it look even better, or even I mean, there's
Right.
already been times where developers just take pictures of things and put it into their game, and it's an actual PNG
Yeah.
of a picture of something they took in real life, as opposed to like just actually drawing a PNG or something like that and putting it in there.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
or modeling something. That's usually what it is they have to model something. So it's kind of this progression where it's like, you import a PNG as a picture that you took, to green screening an actual person, to whatever the next step is, that people might actually make real hyper realistic looking video games because they're using real people and real assets, as opposed to just 3D models, or God forbid, the AI DLSS whatever that they use. So there are like
Hmm.
functional ways to be creative about it. That's the point I'm trying to get across here.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, this is really interesting. I
Mhm.
think it is cool to see something like this. So
Mhm.
thanks for sharing.
Yeah, and I always like seeing what's new in the gaming community, and so you shared this with me just a moment ago. You want to tell me a little bit about this?
I literally saw this like 10, 15 minutes ago from Jeff on my timeline. So I was like, this seems like something worth talking about if it's like brand new. Because Jeff always is tweeting like news from like earnings calls or whatever. Like he's got
Mhm.
that. Like as much as he's a host, he is also he's got his journalistic background.
He's an
Um,
insider. If anyone
he's an
follows
insider.
sports, he's the Adam Schefter of video games.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Like he did tweet about like a new cast member for season 3 of Fallout. So but
Nice.
this was the latest tweet that he posted about, which has to do with the tech and producer Katsuhiro Harada. He used to work at like Bandai with Tekken, but then dipped after
Mhm.
a while. I saw him very recently. It might have been the last DreamHack Atlanta, honestly. They were doing this like SNK championships thing with the fighting game community. They're really involved with that. I mean,
Mhm.
Tekken is fighting game, SNK is FGC. But he is joining SNK now to establish a new game development studio called Versus Studio. It does seem that it's falling under like SNK Corporation's umbrella, which is pretty
So
interesting because they made
SNK, that does that stand for something?
Let me see if I can get the acronym. It is well, yeah, it's a Japanese video game company. Um, it was founded in the 1970s, and it comes from the initials of like its original Japanese
Mm-hmm.
name, essentially, um, which is Shingeki no Kyojin.
So
And
is that
it's
like a publisher? Is that what the company is, or?
so let's see, it's a video game company. I'm trying to make sure that I like am reading this right. Because SNK Corporation in and of itself is a company, and Versus Studio is now a game development studio that uh Har Harada-san is joining. So,
Yeah, like it's
um,
pretty common for companies like Ubisoft and EA to like get development teams under their umbrella to make games for them. PlayStation does that as well. Nintendo
yeah,
obviously has kind of their own
I mean,
in-house development
yeah,
people.
they're mainly known for like they have a history of designing like different arcade cabinets, but they're really best recognized for their like 2D fighting arcade games. And then that's where Fatal Fury got launched, and they just this past year they were at events like Evo showing off Fatal Fury City of the Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Um and Yeah, they pretty much have been around for decades. So I think it's just interesting to see the producer of Tekken like joining in like a studio under SNK's umbrella after like how long he has been established as like their producer and how long he's kind of led the charge with uh Tekken because he stepped down pretty recently. But this is like a pretty big like twist for him
This is
now
like big
because
news in that kind of circle.
I would say in the FGC world, it's a pretty interesting like twist and shakeup. So yeah, because he's basically referred to as the godfather of Tekken, and we know how prominent Tekken is in the fighting game world. So it was late last year that he departed from Bandai Namco,
Mm-hmm.
and people were curious like whether he would remain in the gaming industry or if he was gonna like retire. But the answer turns out to be a resounding yes for remaining in the games industry. We don't know what this development company studio is like working on right now.
But I
Um,
can say this for fact, right? Like in the next few years we're gonna see a trailer pop up and it's gonna say from the creators of Tekken, and then it's gonna be some new fighting
yeah,
game.
my guess is it's probably going to be like a fighting game.
I mean, that's what they
Um,
specialize in. It would make sense, especially for going from arcade cabinets, 2D fighting games, and then bringing in the guy who made Tekken. Understandable,
mhm,
right? Especially since Tekken, like, although
yeah.
Tekken is one of the big three between Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Street Fighter, I always felt like Tekken was kind of the one that's left behind. It was always number three of the three, so I can understand why maybe he's wanting to, reestablish something new, especially since he's always playing third fiddle with Tekken. So I
Mhm,
get it. Like, start fresh, try to create something new. Maybe you can
yeah.
become number one.
Yeah, but I just found like pretty much like the official press release about this, and then there's also a YouTube video posted in the past couple hours. It's pretty much a message from him talking about this news. And a lot of the comments are like, "This is very shocking that he's working at SNK. We're curious what he's cooking up." And it's a great move by them. And it's yeah, it's pretty interesting to see this. SNK supposedly here doesn't outright own Versus Studio, and it's like investing in like the outfit that Versus Studio has with plans to make it a subsidiary once everything's like up and running. But it seems pretty brand new, so we're gonna have to watch what they do with the FGC side in a few years. Maybe they'll be over here for Evo in the future. But yeah, just some big news in the fighting game scene because it's important to kind of cover all the different aspects of gaming. I feel so when I saw
I'm
Jeff
very
Keighley tweet
interested
that,
in all the different aspects of gaming, not just the games I'm
yeah.
interested in, but even the games I've never heard of, because a game you've never heard of could potentially be your new favorite game of all time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but yeah, cool new studio from SNK, and
Mm-hmm.
very interested to see where it goes.
Speaking of other news, especially new games that may be coming out soon-ish, we do have something new from House. These are the developers of Untitled Goose Game, right?
Yeah, I saw this one as well. So this was
Hello.
posted about in 2025, but this is resurfacing right now as it approaches its upcoming release in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I don't know at what point we would say that Friend Slop started taking off.
Sometime after Among Us, but before now.
Okay. Well, this game is called Big Walk, and it seems
Mm-hmm.
very interesting because they've been developing this game for a long while, and now we're seeing like the rise and the different mixed reactions to Friend Slop. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it seems pretty interesting. Some of the things that I saw in this video that were interesting is like, of course, like the further away that someone is, like you can't really hear them at all, and
Yeah,
you
so
have
it's
to
like good
maybe
proximity
like
chat.
and you have to use like maybe a flare gun to get the attention of someone that might be all the way out there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's
And you won't be able to hear each other through the wall, and so he's like, yes, no,
yeah.
yes.
I know we've talked about like friend slop on this channel before. We
Mm-hmm.
were talking about the Mad Mushroom game the last episode.
I fell down a
Um
hole. I have
I
seen
fell
that.
down
Yeah,
a
where he's
hole.
like holding up a sign and stuff. You know, people are
Uh
just gonna use that to write the most vulgar thing ever.
yeah, maybe. But I mean this game does look charming, and anything that comes from the studio behind Untitled Goose Game is like gonna be like a really big deal, I think, or just
And you
like
know
it's
they're
gonna
just
get a lot
having
of
fun with this.
eyes.
I don't think they made this with the intention of like some of the others. Like you can
Hmm.
usually look at a game and tell what the intention behind it is. This just looks like, hey, let's have some good times with friends versus this was made for a Twitch stream, right?
Yeah, I'm also noticing more than 4 people involved, which is cool. So,
One of them is
not
the imposter actually. That's what that is.
yeah, but you could see the people going different ways. So, like, homie here just got lost, but he's like trying to reach out to the group, and then he's got like a megaphone, and then they have a flare gun, and you can reconnect to one another.
Mhm.
So I think that's really cute. Everyone's like, oh, we lost one. Okay, let's just
Uh-oh. Shoot the flare
yep,
gun.
here we are. Thank you.
Screw
Yeah,
off, right? Like,
yeah,
like you can
yeah,
tell.
but.
But yeah, no, it looks like it would be a bit of fun just with some friends. Can't knock it for that. But the one thing that I really pull away from this, that I think is the biggest selling point for me, is that every character in the game is just the thickest dude you've ever seen in your life. Like, oh my goodness, they got some junk in that trunk. How do they
They
just haul that around all day? That's
listen.
wild.
Listen, the bakery does not miss, all right?
the
See, Reno agrees.
Reno agrees for sure. The bakery doesn't close. Oh, he's
Yeah, but
excited about something. So, anyway, that's the new one
excited
from
about
the people of
the
Entitled Goose
news.
Games.
Hmm.
While I go make sure that he's okay, you want to tell me about what's going on over here? Because you put this in here, and I can't read that
Yeah,
if my life depended on it. So,
yeah. I put in these first few bullet points here, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of mention this while Aaron is making sure Reno is all good. I'm not gonna try to pronounce this game's name, so we're gonna call it PVKK. I first heard about this game at TwitchCon San Diego, actually, because they had like a whole setup. And this is being published by Kepler Interactive, which is responsible for publishing Clair Obscura Expedition 33, Rematch, and Pacific Drive. So prominent games like that have been under Kepler Interactive's umbrella. This game is also made by Bip and Bits as well. So this game currently had a scheduled summer 2026 release, but it has been delayed. With the information here, with the little letter as to what is going on. The first image is kind of like within the language and vernacular of the game. Like this is a directive issued at the highest level of authority.
yeah,
And then the other one is like actually like a
a note from the
message
director.
from Renee. So yeah, but it kind of just goes into the whole explanation as to like, yeah, it's a little disappointing, but we've talked about many times how, a good game, lasts forever, and if it takes a little more time, then
A
that
delayed game
is
is eventually good, but a bad game is bad forever.
get a counter going for any time Aaron says that in any of our episodes.
It's because it's
But
true.
yeah, but this game now is launching in 2027. It did get some good reception at like the booth at like TwitchCon and stuff. So I'm really interested to see like how the game continues to grow. They have like, in 2025 they started as a team of 4 full-time developers, and now they've
Hmm.
grown to a team of 11. But it's still a lot that goes into the game development process. So that is kind of what's going on with it. So PVKK is pretty interesting. I highly recommend giving it a look. It is um again, Kepler Interactive. They put out some pretty awesome games. So
Dude, like, what is this game
and
about?
published
Because
some
I
games.
had not heard of this up until this point, and
Really?
yeah, I've never heard of this. What's the gameplay like?
Oh, okay. So, pretty much is this game where you're operating this planetary defense cannon,
Hmm.
to like fend off invasions from this bunker, essentially. So you're manually controlling this like massive cannon and also following orders and managing your resources and stuff like that. And it is like a very unique like experience from what I not only heard about but have seen. So it's all planetary defense. And yeah, the title is maybe just a little bit too long. But it's
Yeah, maybe a
also
little bit.
yeah, but I brought it up because it's pretty neat. And you obey your superiors and everything, so we got to obey this directive, of course, about
Of
the game
course.
being deployed a little bit later. But you got like explosions, you got levers and buttons, you got things to look out for in this retro tech cockpit. With all the satisfying buttons and levers and dials. And I remember they went and had this like actual like booth with all the like levers and switches and stuff that you could like mess around with, which was
Hmm.
really cool. Um, but yeah, this game has actually gotten like quite a bit of attention, so I would definitely keep it in the back burner going into next year on your radar.
Actually does remind me a lot of the game we did just talk about from the developers of Entitled Goose Game, because all of those characters also man a giant cannon, if you know what I'm saying. No, but seriously,
Bruh.
it's cool to be able to see these games early on and be able to pick out like that's going to be a good one. I can tell, and then just kind of hold that one
Mm.
into the back of your head for when it does come around. And yeah, we do see a lot of game delays, but I think at this point we're all just kind of accustomed to it because we know the idea of setting a deadline and then trying to meet that deadline knowing you're not going to be able to do it, and would rather push it back to make sure the game's in a complete state, because we've seen what happens when a game releases early and it's just not
Mm.
good. And even if they do fix it later down the road, not every game is redeemable, right? Like it could be the best game, 5 patches later, but if you miss that window, then you're done for, and that's just how it is. So,
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
but I do think it's kind of
Um,
funny. I was gonna use this as a funny transition because we gotta
yeah.
follow orders and wait to play the game until it's ready. You know who didn't follow orders and wait to play a game was anybody who had their hands on Forza Horizon 6. I don't know if you heard about this, but the
I did
the
look into
game
this.
leaked 10 days early before its launch because its download wasn't encrypted. So people were just like downloading it to see if they could download it early and get it like preloaded, and then finding out that when they downloaded it, they could just play it.
Yeah, so the developers accidentally, it was a genuine mistake. They
Mm-hmm.
pushed the game onto a Steam update, right? But they didn't encrypt the preload data. So it was spotted on SteamDB, and then pretty much like people could start downloading it and playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
They did end up circling
Yeah,
around
they
and
fixed it, right? Like,
removing. They fixed it, and apparently I saw that some players that had accessed the game a little too early, they were getting banned until I think it was like
9,999.
yeah,
Yeah, I
December
saw that.
31st. So, yeah, they made sure that anyone that was caught, doing a little bit too early of a haul, they made sure to kind of address
And
that.
here's the
So,
thing, like I'll preface this because it's not the fact that they were playing early. People who played early were just capitalizing off of the mistake of the publishers, right? So that wasn't
mhm.
necessarily what's at fault here. What was at fault is that some of the people, the ones who got banned, played early, recorded and streamed it,
Yeah,
and then
streamed it.
uploaded it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that was the problem, is that they were
absolutely.
showcasing it early, and that's what got them banned.
Because the thing is, a lot of games leading up to their launch, if you're dropping review codes or anything to creators or to just media outlets, you usually are going to have to follow an embargo.
Yeah, there's an embargo in
You
place. You know, I mean,
you
we've
may
we've we've both worked with
you
embargoes
you
before.
you may have to sign an NDA depending on the project. So it just, it really just depends. And Forza Horizon 6 is a game with a lot of like excitement behind it. They recently did like a event in Tokyo because Forza Horizon 6 is like based in Japan. Like that is where the setting takes place and where all the buildings and the nature and the surroundings are all authentic to like what is there. So um yeah, these kinds of events and these kinds of like streams are not allowed until the game is like actually released for the premium and standard editions.
Yeah, because it's not like those people knew that there was an embargo, but whether they know it or not, they still breached that embargo, right? So the embargo is
Yeah,
usually a couple days. Sometimes it's the day of release, but usually it's a couple days before. But when you're playing the
yeah,
game 10 days early and showing it 10 days early, yeah,
yeah.
that's a little bit of a problem.
It's a big problem,
That's a
which is
very,
why
very
we
big, big, big
we always
problem.
do our best to respect embargoes as
I've never
they
not respected an
start.
embargo.
Exactly. So definitely gotta make sure that is taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jeff Keighley's back. What's
Yo,
up? What's
Jeff
up over
Keighley's
here?
back. I do have some more news. We're moving over into the Nintendo news as Pokemon
Yes.
Pocopia has now sold over 4 million copies. Let's
Word got
go.
around when the game came out and spread like wildfire, and now we're here, 4 million copies later.
Yeah, this is actually, I'm not like necessarily with this game specifically because it is a big AAA game. But
Mm,
this is kind of a point I wanted to make in a future video that I'm actually editing right now is the
mm,
fact that sometimes word of mouth is what helps a game grow. So even though a game doesn't sell great initially, if word gets around that it's a good game, it will eventually get those sales. And Pocopia, I think, is
yeah,
just one of those games where it's not like it sold like a million in the first day, but as word got around, people saw it and enjoyed it. They eventually bought it as well, and it's got its 4 million copies in 5 weeks. One of those being from my wife because she saw it and she's like, "Oh my god, this is adorable!" And then she played it nonstop for a week and a half. So, um, there you go. So like games like this and Tamagotchi Life are great little sandboxes, and whether you're a big fan of Pokemon or you're a big fan of creating your own island and naming all of your characters after Sonic the Hedgehog characters, seems like there's a
yeah.
game out there for everybody.
Yeah. This information came from a like a quarterly report earnings kind of thing that Nintendo dropped. So we're getting a lot of information about hardware and software sales, even, console sales and stuff like that. So here we have a little bit of a breakdown from
Mm-hmm.
Stealth, where the Switch 2 hardware has sold about 20 million copies of
20 million
like 20
units.
million Switch
I got
2s
one of them. You
units.
got one of them.
I got one of them. Yep. And then some of the top games right now, Mario Kart World,
Okay, but
obviously
that's a
came with
farce. It was
a
bundled with
lot.
half of them. We
A
all
lot of a
know
lot of
it.
people did get it bundled, but for
It's
those
like
that didn't
it's
get
like
the
with the
bundle,
original Nintendo. What was it? The NES, right? It bundled with Mario Bros, and that's why it was one of the most selling games of all time for its time.
right,
So
right.
that's boo. It's like it's the Wii Sports conundrum.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Donkey Kong Bonanza won the statistic of 4.5 million units sold.
That one was
Pocopia,
worth it. That
four
was a good one.
million. Pokemon Legends ZA Switch 2 edition sold about 4 million copies. I have one of them. And then
Mm-hmm.
Kirby Air Riders currently has about 2 million, 1.8 million exactly. I feel like I could use a copy of that because that is an excellent demo, and I
Mm-hmm.
do want to play more of Kirby Air Riders. But there's always a lot of interesting numbers that come out of these reports from Nintendo, just like the console sales, just like the projections, things that we see
I
like
mean,
that.
20
So,
million in a year is already phenomenal. That is a great start, and you know those numbers bump up every single holiday season. So, um, I guess
mhm,
we'll
mhm.
anticipate that going even higher. I just wanted to touch that. I have all four of these. Like I'm looking at the top ones. I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, that's me. I did that. I didn't get Kirby Air Riders, but that's just because too many games. I would not have time to put into it, but let me tell you, these four
Yeah.
pretty solid games. Donkey Kong Bonanza, I think, is the best of these four, and if you have not played it, you should play it. Michael, do you have Bonanza?
I only have the demo. I don't have a copy yet.
I hope you get a copy someday, and you get to
I
play it
should
and
play it.
stream it because it
Yeah.
is It is probably the best game on Switch 2 right now. I truly believe that. At least for Switch 2 exclusives. Great game.
So, so I do want to touch as well. This sales, like forecast that Nintendo actually put out was a little bit disappointing, actually. So, there has been news about Nintendo's share prices falling 10% because of what dropped about everything. Some of the other
Isn't that
figures.
ironic? Like because they didn't meet specific sales quota, even though these
Mhm.
numbers are fantastic and most companies would be happy with this. This is green. This is revenue. They did not lose money on any of this, but they still lost huge points on the stock market because it didn't meet whatever imaginary line that the shareholders wanted them to hit.
I think part of it is with a lot of people feared that what was going to happen was this after the like raising of the prices, especially with the Switch 2. And there
Mm-hmm.
is news about the prices increasing for Switch 2 consoles, as Hungrybox tweeted, where the current price in the US for Switch 2 is without the bundle is 449, and now it's going to be 499.
Ugh.
So we have similar rises depending on currencies in Japan. Europe is going up 30 euros. Canada is going up 50 Canadian dollars. So we are getting slight price increases, and a lot of people were worried about, how the like stocks would, react and move and stuff, and how things would be perceived. But when the $50 price hike takes effect, which I believe is going to happen later this fall,
Mm-hmm.
it will make the system Nintendo's most expensive console to date, not accounting
Mm-hmm.
for inflation, which is a pretty unfortunate turn of events for the consumers and the gamers, and will definitely impact Switch 2 sales as ongoing macroeconomic conditions are squeezing our wallets and are this gets into the whole bigger issue. Games are very much a piece of the puzzle for us right now.
Games are
Of course.
expensive, but so is gas and so is groceries. And my rent just got raised because we've been here
Oh,
a year,
dang.
and every single year they raise rent everywhere. That's just how it goes because that's just a, you know,
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to exist. I will
it
tell you
is
that
it is
right now.
hard to live, just in
Yeah.
general.
But this has also led to low sales projections for the 2027 fiscal year for Nintendo.
So even though
They're
I said that we're probably
projecting.
going to see a bump in the holidays, which we probably will, I don't think it's going to be
Always.
as high because
Yeah.
yeah, that price hike is
Yeah.
right.
On the
Like,
morning of May
eugh.
11th, Nintendo projected it would sell 16.5 million Switch 2 consoles, which is lower than what they've sold this fiscal year.
Mm-hmm.
It is a considerable number, but it is a noticeable drop. So we're gonna have to see how this goes for Nintendo, and we will see, because it seems like the stock price is also like at one of its lowest points since like the past couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So games are really feeling the brunt of the force, and that's kind of how it's going right now.
Oh, it's
Nintendo
going
did.
right now.
It sure is. Nintendo did also drop the total unit sales for some of their other consoles. So the Nintendo Switch, uh, that one is still like really popular, kind
Mm-hmm.
of. Right now more
It's still
units of that, of
selling.
course, have been sold. So the current amount of Switch units sold total is 155.9 million units. Um, and all the updated numbers right now, Wii U, Wii, Nintendo 3DS, stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting to see like
Some of
how
those like
the
other ones aren't
hardware
going up
sells.
anymore though.
Yeah, it's definitely fascinating stuff. Of course, like Nintendo Switch sales have gone way down
Mm-hmm.
as a result of the Switch 2. Um, but yeah, it's always interesting to see companies drop their like earnings releases and financial results, and it does like paint a picture for like, as we look at these big heavy hitting companies, like where things are going and how that might like affect the um future predictions. So yeah, and if y'all want to read this financial report, it's on Nintendo Japan's like IR information website. Like you can easily Google this up and do a deep dive, which we're not going to do on today's episode. But
We're also not probably equipped enough to do that. So, I mean, I
yeah,
did go to college and took some microeconomic, macroeconomic, and accounting classes. But that does not make me qualified to be able to break it down and tell you exactly what I'm looking at. That was 10 years ago, man.
the
I don't know
the
what any of that
landscape has
means no more.
changed. It
Things
sure has.
change. I put a lot more
Yep.
studying into video games now. I can talk about video games.
Speaking of video games, let's start talking about the
One of the
current
most
discourse
yeah,
that's going on.
one of the most talked
Yeah.
about video games of the past week for sure. And that would
So
be
this would be Mixtape.
Mixtape.
So
So I'm not gonna play
just
the voice of this, but I will play the footage so you can kind of get what is going
yeah,
on.
you don't want to play the music because there is licensed music here as well. So you don't want the
Yeah,
channel
we'd get the
getting striped.
whole video
We have
muted. Let's
we have music
go.
we have music from the Smashing Pumpkins, like actual licensed artists here. So we
Mm-hmm.
will unfortunately not be playing the music, but just know that music is the soul of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Mixtape is under Annapurna Interactive's uh umbrella, and that's like the gaming studio of Annapurna, and they are into like the filmmaking side a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
Beethoven and Dinosaurs, the studio that developed it, Annapurna published it, and a lot of people are back and forth on this. Right now on Steam, you will see very positive reviews of this game,
And it's like
and
as it should be. It's a good game fundamentally. It is.
oh yeah, we streamed it in my community very recently. I was fortunate enough to receive a review copy of this game, and I do have to say that I really enjoyed the experience. It is like I mean, I'm a sucker for music, but it's not just the music that is charming about this game. It's the narrative, it's the storytelling, it's
It's the
the ragtag,
nostalgia.
it's the nostalgia with the 80s 90s vibes. It's the ragtag trio that is like just, you know, relatable. And this game has touched so many hearts. It has touched people enough to where some people are maybe even calling it a game of the year contender. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the discourse, you got people that are not as fond of the game and don't think that it should be highly acclaimed.
Well, I
So,
think there's kind of
yeah.
one standout argument above the rest, and it's exactly what you're seeing right here. This entire gameplay sequence is not a gameplay sequence. It is. You can press buttons to do things, but this
Yep.
entire almost 3 minutes of what you're watching, not a single button has been pushed. The person put their controller down and let the game just go. They are not missing any jumps. There are still things happening where, they're making high fives, and you're going to see something coming up here where they're going to kick the football. And it's like, well, maybe there should be a prompt where if I click the button on time, then they kick the football and it makes it. But if I miss the prompt, then the football misses. No, it doesn't matter. You don't have to click something. You can not click something and they'll still make the football kick. And it doesn't matter. And that's kind of what the big complaint here is
Yeah,
that
because
you're not actually playing.
right, because while this game can give off Life is Strange vibes, and it can absolutely like be you could draw some comparisons to it. It's not exactly Life is Strange in the sense that you are doing major choices and decisions, and also like moving. There are sequences where you're moving around.
Hmm.
There are like a little bit of that more gameplay elements. But the gameplay in this scene, it pretty much relates to jumping and sliding, and but I think really the thing is with Annapurna,
Yeah,
with
there's
with
like
this
no button
game.
prompt for this. She just goes, yeah. It would be cool if like you press the button and you'll do the photo bomb, but if you miss the button, then they
Yeah,
don't, right? Like
so
like
so
it's these little
there's no
things.
warnings, right? So at the start of each prompt, it'll tell you what button to press, but then from there, it's just all about the experience. And I mean, it really is, yeah, like, I mean, you could technically get away in this particular instance without like doing too much. And, I think a lot of gamers really like that. Like interactivity where you are like timing things and you are like trying
Well, yeah,
to
it's
not
it's a it's
get
a
a game over
video
screen,
game.
you
Half
know?
half of it is the game
Yeah.
part, you know?
And if you are like skateboarding down the street and you accidentally run into a car, the game will just rewind and
Hmm.
you pick up from where you left off. So there's no like punishment to this game either. I think it is so like just focused on that like story and experience, which is
And there's
not
nothing wrong with that.
everyone's cup of tea. It's not. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Absolutely.
You know what I think
But
the
yeah,
core of
what do
the
you think?
discourse here is? It's not the fact that it's a bad game. It's the fact that It is very good, but not perfect. Yet there are some media outlets, IGN, who frame it as perfect. They're giving it a 10. They're putting it up on the pedestal next to generational titles like, Super Mario Galaxy 2 or Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Red Dead Redemption 2. And while it is good, it is a very good game. It is a solid 8.5 to 9 out of 10 game. It is not that 10 out of 10 game that it feels like a lot of these media outlets and reviewers are making it. So it's like the argument here that a lot of people are having discourse over is the slim margin between an 8.5 and a 10. But they're just upset because it's being showcased as a 10 when really there needs to be a better understanding of what the game is aiming to do and where the game falls short, because it does fall short in one or two sections. It's not a lot. It is a great game, but it is just the lack of acknowledgement from the reviewers and the outlets. So a lot of this discourse isn't even towards the game. It is towards the outlets and the reviewers for misinterpreting
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Can you tell I've done research about this?
You have. I would also say that Twitter's a little bit of a
Twitter's biased. You see the worst takes on Twitter and it blows up.
Yeah, so that's also like part of the picture, I will say.
You want to see a good take on Twitter though, actually, because I wanted to follow up. I didn't want to just talk about the negatives here. We have this guy who comes in here and he's all like, in lieu of people maybe upset that there isn't as much gameplay as they'd like, you do have a small Aussie studio built an entire game around one Devo song, wrote the playlist first, story came second, characters physically clap on the beat, one mini game controlled two tongues during a first kiss, people like that's your
my God.
It's an artistic expression. I get it. It's not my cup of tea, but I'm not gonna knock the game for it. Right? Like it's if you've seen the scene, you know what I'm talking about. But I don't think that's one of the things that should be held against it specifically.
It is it's not the only mini game really, but in the game, but I will say it's definitely one of the funniest ones. So my whole thing is that before I actually streamed a copy of this game, I actually sat down at Day of the Devs and actually demoed the game, and it was pretty much the first 30 minutes of the game. So I had already played that.
So you played half the game already? I'm kidding. No, it's about 3 hours long. It's a solid length.
It is. Yeah, 3 to 4 hours long, depending on what pace you go at. So it's not a long game. The story is not 40 hours long.
I think 3 to 4 hours is fine. I think there's a lot of games that fall into that category. Like every Little Nightmares game and Reanimal, those both fall into the 3 to 4 hour. It's like a one to two evening game, which is fine. I think that's a perfect time slot for a $20 game. So it's adequately priced for what you're getting.
Yeah, $20 game on all major platforms. Yeah, I honestly I gave it probably a 9.5 out of 10 personally. I did enjoy it. It is just I don't know. The story is able to resonate with a lot of people. Some people maybe it doesn't land with them. For me, I think it really did hit hard, especially at certain points. And music I think did define people's lives in the 80s and 90s. And this just kind of captures that. It really, really does. And there were moments that really stood out to me, different chapters of the game that I thought were really cool.
Music is the soul. At least that's how I remember it, with the shopping cart turning into helicopters.
That's why the game actually doesn't have a streamer mode, and people were asking about it. But people, if they stream the game, they technically have to follow any DMCA. If I was streaming the game and I was as anal about following the DMCA stuff and being worried about it, then I would be doing what we're showing on this screen, which is playing the game with sound, except turning the music volume to 0. and then maybe just playing my own music. Imagine I should have actually played this with Toontown music over.
That would have been quirky. Be like, don't worry, guys, quirky. I get to enjoy the game fully. You guys get to watch a skateboard simulator.
I got the Toontown playlist up. Let's put on our headphones and stuff, right? But yeah, so some people do think that this game is deserving of the highest acclaim. Some people don't think so,
But
and
this
I
is
think
an
it'll be
indie, right?
interesting.
Like this could take indie of the
It is
year.
an indie.
I think it takes
It
indie of the
could.
year. What are its
I think so.
contenders right now? What other indie games came out this year?
Hmm. I'm not saying because I don't know or
It's just
because
so off
there
the top
haven't
of
been
my head, I
games.
could not tell you.
Yeah, let me. I'm gonna do a quick search because this is pretty interesting,
I was
right?
gonna say the only other thing I can think of is Cult of the Lamb Woolhaven, but that's like a
Woolhaven.
DLC. And I honestly, this is why I think the
Mm-hmm.
game, Game Awards should have a specific thing for DLC slash updates for like best DLC update of the year,
Mm-hmm.
because Woolhaven would
Mm-hmm.
would definitely fit in that. Indie
Yeah.
Games 2026. What do we got?
I mean, of course, there's always a lot of indie games that are
Oh, Slay the
being
Spire 2
released.
and
Slay.
Mouse
I was thinking
PI.
Slay the Spire, Mouse PI,
I liked Mouse
definitely.
PI. I think, like, in my opinion, I really liked Mouse PI.
Oh yeah.
Objectively, when I remove myself from it, I think that Mixtape would take Game of the Year over Mouse PI. I don't know if it
Hmm.
would take it over Slay the Spire 2, but it would definitely take it over Mouse PI. So it's probably like
Mm-hmm.
a close call between Slay the Spire 2 and Mixtape at this point. Maybe Mugenics, but I think Mugenics was just a silly fun game. I don't think it did exactly what
Mm-hmm.
Mixtape does, where it's like trying to
Mm-hmm.
create a, it's like Mugenics was good, but I think people have already kind of stopped talking about it. Whereas Mixtape,
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll still come around as the year goes on and reference it and talk about
Yeah.
it, and it'll be brought up during the
Uh,
Game Awards.
on the topic of like most anticipated indie games that are like coming out real quick,
Mm-hmm.
I'm scrolling through a list here. There are still some other ones that are around the corner. Toem 2 is coming out, which I have like demoed, and that one's pretty cool.
How do you spell that?
It's kind of
Oh, it did spell. Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, no, I've seen
yeah,
this. Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep,
Because
where
I
you're
was
like
talking,
this
you were showing me the
photographer.
showcase,
Yeah,
and I was like, "Ooh, that one actually looks pretty cool." So no, I can see it.
that one's also very like sound music art oriented. Yeah,
I'll
so that's
showcase a
like the
little bit
gameplay
of it.
trailer. So yeah, I might as well just mention. Yeah, this one is you're a curious photographer on an adventure, covering hidden details, documenting like the world's wonders. And yeah, it's a sequel to the acclaimed Toem, which is why this one is also going to be on a lot of people's wish lists.
Mm.
So this is one to look out for. Um, I've also played some other great indie games at like Summer Game Fest in the past. So I will also shout out just a few titles. I will shout out Dosa Divas, which is like very cooking, food, but also combat, story elements that are like all themed around cuisines. And then I will also shout out, it looks like Planet of Lana 2. I don't know if that one's come out already, actually. It did release in March. So if you haven't played Planet of Lana, go play Planet of Lana and then play Planet of Lana 2. I did recently at GDC demo at Fate's End from Thunder Lotus Games. And that game has kind of got like a Spiritfarer vibe to it. So heart squeezing story and great combat. So I would check that one out. Um, and then finally, I would. I know I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but
No, that's
finally,
fine.
I'll
By all
shout out.
means, like I'm giving you the floor. I'm full screening you
Yeah,
so everyone can hear you and
yeah,
pay attention.
yeah. Finally, I'll shout out Lucid. This one I have also been pretty interested in. This one's got like it's kind of got like a Hollow Knight Silk Song vibe. And this one has been anticipated as well. With like that 2D side scroller, gorgeous pixel art kind of vibe. But yeah. These are some other great games that either have come out or are coming out. And then like in addition to that, like when I just a little shout out, when I go to Dreamhack, they have like the indie playground, so they have a little Steam page for that as
Oh yeah.
well. About some of the games that are actually going to be there. A lot of these games I haven't heard of before, but it is a whole dedicated section of the convention where they offer free exhibit space to indie games to be able to showcase to the community. DreamHack has been
Level
doing
Up
this for quite a
Expo had something like this as well.
yeah. So DreamHack has been doing this for quite a couple years, and for some game developers, it's their first time that they're actually like getting their game featured on like a big show floor. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really cool when we get to see these kinds of like spaces featuring games that maybe are just developed by a single person or that are developed by, just a very small team. So a lot of these games I haven't gotten around to playing or checking out. But when I go to Atlanta, I will probably see them. But this is all to say that, we've talked about the past couple years how the indie game scene is like really taking over.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, Mixtape is definitely getting a lot of conversations going, being top rated on all of these like media outlets like OpenCritic, Metacritic. So it's definitely starting a lot of interesting conversations.
Oh yeah, for sure. A lot of great games out there. We'll never be able to play all of them, but we're going to try to find the best ones we can, and at least the
Yeah.
ones that catch our
And
attention.
Mixtape literally caught my attention from the moment I sat down at GDC and played with it. So I already knew that it was going to be a hit. And for me, it's a hit. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the future of it is. So I really do think it's awesome though. So
Mm-hmm. All right, but let's
they
transition
need
into
to.
some Twitch news, shall we? Because we got a good amount of
Yeah.
Twitch news to talk about. So
All right, Twitch. What's up?
yeah, the first it's kind of a smaller one, but it's big to us because we knew him pretty well. Pluto announced that he's finally leaving Twitch. The old man's retiring, but he's not.
Don't say
He's probably
that.
he's probably just moving on to something else. But he
I'm
is one
sad
of
that you
the.
called him an old man.
He's only like slightly older than I am, I think. But he is one of the
Oh
more
my
well-known
God.
staffers. He was always seen in like all of the partner Twitch streamers. He was like always hanging out with Summit, and he even popped into your stream and my stream at one point, if you remember that.
I actually was a moderator on his Twitch channel for
Wow.
quite a time back when he was streaming Super Mario Maker 2. I kind of like stopped watching him and stopped moderating, but I actually was like very involved in his own streams.
Mm-hmm.
And right now he's doing like as we're recording this, he's doing like his first stream in quite a while. So he's like an
Hey.
ex Twitch staff turned streamer kind of thing. So make sure to go check out his VOD and go follow his channel at twitch.tv/Pluto. But he's been around the partnerships team for pretty much like over a decade. And
mm-hmm.
it's pretty surreal that his time has come and he is now departed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, he genuinely has like done so much for creators, especially in the early days of Twitch as they were getting established and becoming more prominent, becoming a little more like high profile. And yeah,
I know he had
he,
talked in my chat, but I was just checking to see if like I could see
yeah,
what he said. The last time he talked in my chat was like 2016, so it's like it was
yeah,
not keeping track
he,
of it back then. But I was wondering if
oh
I could
yeah,
find
no,
it.
he definitely also like stopped by my streams as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you have like a
I
favorite
also
Pluto memory?
a favorite Pluto memory. Ooh, let me think. Like any memory at all,
Any
really?
memory. I'll share mine because mine was when he popped into my chat. So my favorite
Sure.
memory it was shortly after I got partnered. I got partnered
Yeah.
March of 2016, and
16.
he popped in like early that summer, like June, and I was in a back nine on Toontown Rewritten, and he's all like, "What's all this then?" And I was like, "It's Pluto, OMG, look, it's Toontown. You have a partnered streamer playing Toontown," and he was like, that doesn't seem right. Who partnered this guy? so,
That's awesome.
so I
Yeah, he's
always
like,
loved his
wait, I
sense
gotta
of
check.
humor.
He's like, I gotta check the backlogs for a minute. Like, what happened back here?
Who let this
Yeah,
one
man.
happen? Yeah. So he
Oh
always had a
man,
great sense of humor.
yeah, that is honestly hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He was always just nice to like talk to on his Twitch streams back in the day, or even like at TwitchCon and stuff like that. He was always like super approachable, and it was always great like getting to have conversations with him, and especially after I like also joined the partner program. So he had a really good relationship with a lot of Twitch partners that really just like um helped a lot of he helped a lot of people, and honestly his legacy is legendary in the Twitch community. He really is a Twitch OG. So to see another Twitch OG depart after Growl and Kawaii Guy, who I forget if I brought up their departure in the past, but I don't know if um if we talked about it, but he's Pluto's not the only OG staffer that has since departed. So it
I mean,
definitely
it's
is a
like
sad time.
the company's been around so long at this point where they probably cycled through their entire staff like 2 or 3 times over. So Pluto
Not to
just
mention
being the
layoffs.
last one,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Pluto being one of the last ones that was there from the OG days is kind of like a true turning of the next chapter.
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, there's so much more that I could probably think of to say that I'm not thinking of right now. But just know, that his legacy will be felt by creators.
Mm-hmm.
It always has been. He's got his Party Time Global emote on Twitch that will always be iconic.
Oh,
So,
always. That one's so
uh,
good.
but I mean, it's kind of just hard to picture Twitch being the same without him. Like, I do genuinely mean that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
being with the wrench and behind the curtain. He always was passionate, always advocating for creators and the whole Twitch ecosystem, even if it wasn't always seen or even heard, what was going on. He was always helping the creators and advocating for them. And just like many OG staffers, of course, were. But now it definitely just won't be the same without Mr. Pluto joining the staffers. But Pluto has always been around the Twitch community, so you will again probably be seeing him stream. You will probably be seeing him,
He might
you
still
know,
show up to cons. You never know.
at cons. Yeah, I mean there are definitely ex Twitch staffers that will still like pop by TwitchCon, but just won't be really behind the scenes anymore, managing the like creators or anything. Um, but no, I mean, genuinely was like a massive institution just at Twitch alone. Like just I mean, it's
What you're
it
trying to
really
say
is
is
the
he
end of an
carried the
era.
company on his back.
I wouldn't doubt there were moments where he did. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's really just hard to think about Twitch without him, and he was just like such a positive figure. So um I am gonna miss Pluto on behind the scenes, but I'm glad to still see him like streaming and doing well and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can attest to it, I can attest to it. Like we have a lot of appreciation and gratitude towards Pluto's contributions to Twitch, and they will not be forgotten. I will make sure of that. So
I'm gonna
love that
miss
man.
him. Yeah, it's like we're talking about him like he
Yeah.
died.
No, he's still
He's still
thriving.
alive.
It's
He's
just
streaming right now. I promise.
yeah,
All right, but
yeah.
looking into some other Twitch news, I'm sure you saw this as well, and this is probably a big thing that can be talked about and should be talked about. Is Twitch's official stance to combat viewbotting? So a note on our work to combat viewbotting from CEO Dan Clancy. There's been a lot of discussion recently about viewbotting on Twitch, and I wanted to share an update on our reinforcement efforts. Viewbotting is bad for our business. We don't benefit from it, and we believe it harms the creator ecosystem overall. However, effectively combating viewbotting is challenging. As we deploy updates to our real-time detection algorithms, viewbotting companies quickly respond with updates to avoid detection. Also, our detection systems must be precise to ensure that legitimate viewers are properly counted. Today, we're introducing a new enforcement type that we plan to roll out over the next few weeks. For channels identified as persistently viewbotting, we will apply a cap to the streamer's CCV for a fixed period of time on all of the Twitch's surfaces. The cap will be based upon historical data regarding that creator's non-viewbotted traffic. Repeated violations will result in longer penalties, and streamers will be notified when an enforcement is applied, along with the duration of the penalty, and can appeal through the appeals portal. While streamers will be notified, we will not make a follow-on announcement when we begin issuing these enforcements, and we will not publicly share details about when and where these enforcements are applied. Unfortunately, providing details simply makes it easier for companies to work around our interventions. We believe this approach will help us make meaningful progress against viewbotting. We will continue refining our systems and expand when we apply these enforcements over time. Dan Clancy. What do you think, Michael?
So view botting bad. Twitch don't like it.
Viewbotting
They
real bad.
real bad. They are trying to prevent it and are trying to do more to prevent it. And that is pretty much like I would say what Twitch is like trying to say.
I
But
think like the
I
overall point here being like we are trying to combat it, but if we publicly show you how we're combating it, then the people who are view botting will be able to combat our combating it. Like that's kind of the central
yeah,
message here.
yeah,
But then there's like an
yeah.
underlying message that I thought was kind of interesting where they'll apply a cap to a streamer's CCV for a fixed period of time. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. So, first of all, yes, I am a Twitch ambassador, and yes, I talk about like feedback and amplify that as best as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Viewbotting has, of course, like been part of those discussions. I do not want to speak on behalf of Twitch, though. I
Of
just want to
course
speak
not.
on
This is just
behalf of
your
myself.
personal opinion,
Yep.
not
And
affiliated with Twitch.
and like part of it as well is like trying to like dispel misinformation that I like see,
Mm-hmm.
because the one big concern that like we have seen from that, especially that line,
Mm-hmm.
is like, well, people will just start like maliciously like, harassing streamers with view bots and like then getting their CCVs capped. And
Mm-hmm.
like that has been like I've noticed a lot of like questions and like concerns about that. So
Yeah, because
it
if we
is.
can for a second, there's kind of two pools of streamers who view bot. There's the ones that view bot themselves so that they can be better recognized and seen in kind of the more crowded and more competitive categories, Fortnite, Valorant, IRL, etc. And then there are the ones that don't realize they're being view botted because either, like the difference between 600 viewers and 800 viewers you can't really tell just by looking at the chat. And in
Yeah.
addition to that, right, like you can't really sometimes you just don't look at your viewer count, and if you're not looking at your viewer count you wouldn't see that it surged to 1500 and you wouldn't know why it surged to
Mm,
1500. So
mm.
not every single time that a spike comes up it's malicious, and not every single time that it happens it's done by the streamer. So it's really hard to figure out and pick and point at which ones are trying to do it for their own gain and which ones are being targeted to try to make it look like they're doing it for their own gain.
Mm. Yeah, it's very interesting that like this is it's very interesting just the problem as a whole, right? That like
Mm-hmm.
it is so, it's not just a Twitch thing, it's an internet thing. I mean, I hear about botting problems on like Kick and
Oh, it happens
TikTok,
everywhere,
like
right?
streams. It happens everywhere. It's not just exclusive to Twitch, but it's also a big talking point for Twitch discourse,
Do you
and
can
of
I
course
can I like
this
butt in?
reignites that.
Do you know why it's a big discourse for Twitch specifically and not all these other websites?
Because it's just like honestly like affecting like well, discoverability is also core
Discoverability. That's
anyway.
my big point
So
right here. You don't
no,
notice as
yes,
much on TikTok and YouTube because it's easier
yeah,
to naturally
it's
get
easier.
discovered.
Yeah,
Whereas on Twitch, people feel like the only way to get discovered is to be at the top of those
to be
categories.
at the top of
So
the
it becomes a
categories.
bigger issue there, right? Almost everybody that gets big, they feel like got there because they view botted, whereas opposed to like on TikTok, maybe something of yours popped off. On YouTube,
Yeah,
maybe you had a good video that people clicked on. But on Twitch, you don't usually just jump to 15,000 viewers overnight. It doesn't just happen. You don't get discovered that easily. So when somebody does it, it must be a view bot, right?
yeah. It's
Allegedly.
it's allegedly, right. Yeah, it's definitely continued to be a complex issue for sure. In especially with more focus on the Twitch side, because that is how like people get discovered. You look at your left hand side followed channels, and you could rank them by like your viewership high to low. When you're looking at Twitch, you look at the viewer count, which honestly I don't think people should. I think people should get rid of the viewer count. I think people should just focus on putting out a good
Oh, I mean,
stream,
I never really even
and
look at my
you
view count. I
know
haven't looked at my view count since like 2018. But
right.
that's the thing is like when you look at a
It's
stream,
such a big metric for sponsors and brands and the whole nine
there
yards.
are three metrics on any stream that signify to a viewer on what the quality of stream is going to be. Number one is the thumbnail, which is usually just some portion of
Yep.
the stream that's picked out. It could be something
Yep.
that looks professional. It could
Randomly.
be
Yep.
something that's not, right? And so that only kind of sometimes helps. Number two is the I just had this. Thumbnails. Oh, number two is the title, which half the time gets cut off anyway, so it's really hard to tell if the stream is about anything exciting when you only see the first three sentences or the first
The
three
three
words of a
words,
sentence.
yeah.
And then number three is the view count. Typically, the larger the view count, the more professional or more entertaining the stream is, and that's like just a signifier to a viewer. That's why they're more likely to choose a larger viewed stream. Whereas on YouTube, those same three signifiers, the title and thumbnail do a lot more heavy carrying on YouTube because you can see more of the title and the thumbnail can be edited. Like when you go on YouTube and you look at a really well-made thumbnail, the thumbnail is a signifier to you that this, like if the thumbnail is high quality, then the video must be high quality. And that's why on
Yeah.
YouTube, the big thing is the thumbnail. So whether a video has a million views, 100,000 views, or even 1,000 views, you can look at the thumbnail and be like, oh, this could still be good even if the views aren't big. Twitch doesn't have that. The biggest signifier on Twitch is the view count, and that's why everyone hyper focuses on it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why a lot of like brand opportunities are derived specifically because of your viewer count, which could easily be inflated by raids or front page opportunities or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. And
And like,
that's the
can I
whole
just can I
game.
just throw it out there? Front page. I love the idea of front page, but it's just a
Oh,
pseudo view bot,
listen,
right? Like I've been on front page. You've been on front
listen.
page multiple times. You get maybe a few people come into your stream from front page, but it's definitely not a lot. I
There's
don't
like,
think I've ever had somebody come to my stream from front page and become an active member of my community from it, right? Like
yeah, I mean,
never.
yeah, like that's a whole topic of conversation too between like the fact that viewers like might not even be on the front page for that long because they're like searching up the streamer that they're trying to watch.
Yeah, it's just like
So,
it's the gateway. Go to Twitch and then go to your following.
yeah, and just like, people that see you on front page might have like no context of like your stream or anything, and it's just not really it's good for that one stream's growth, but like turning that into long-term growth from the front page is very difficult. So it can absolutely not be as effective. I mean, I probably sit around like 20 to 30 average CCV when I don't get raids in. And like I've had front page viewership up in the tens of thousands, and I'm still like trying to grow and trying to get the numbers up. But should I even be focused on that? No, I should be focused on putting up a good show that people can enjoy and chatting with and engaging with the people that are around me. And that's why
I like that. That's some good. That's some
yeah,
good intentions you got there, Michael. I
good
like that.
intentions, but the success comes from the viewership, and sometimes people inflate their viewership with viewbotting, and that is not good for the industry as a whole.
No, it's
So
not.
yeah, so that's why Twitch like is trying to like make it clear to the community that they don't like it, that they're doing stuff about it, and they can't exactly either like unveil behind the curtain entirely, because if they do, then
Mm-hmm.
you're just going to get the people that are, actively view botting, adjusting their tactics really, because they can just easily respond to what a service like Twitch is doing, and then we're back at square one. So Twitch
Mm-hmm.
can't, really just like be upfront about everything that they do. I don't even know upfront about everything that they do, and I've had like conversations in the realm of view botting when it comes to like uh my ambassador role. So, but there's still a lot that even I don't know. So, um, but what I will say is that like we're like seeing this feedback and we're amplifying this feedback while also giving our own 2 cents. And yeah, there's always going to be this is always going to be a
Oh, it's
conversation
always going to be a
that
problem. And
I
again,
don't think
like,
is,
I think the
yeah,
root
going to be
cause is
solved
the
immediately.
discoverability, but it's really hard because Twitch has never been known as a place where you go to find a new streamer. It's a place you go to watch the streamer you already know or watch the content you creator you already know, which is why everyone goes to TikTok and everyone goes to YouTube and everyone goes to Instagram to try to get new people from there to come to their stream. And so Twitch, in order to combat this, genuinely needs to do something on a fundamental level to change why people open the app in the first place. But that's going to be very, very difficult for them to do. And I don't even think they're trying to work on that. I think they're still trying to just bandage up all the problems that they already have and aren't even going to consider trying to fundamentally change what Twitch is as a whole. So probably never going to see that
Yeah,
happen,
it
but that's just the world we live in.
it can be a little frustrating with how things like are, but like especially with how much has changed with Twitch,
Hmm.
especially dating to like the Amazon acquisition, how things have transformed since then. I just, I love Twitch at its roots, and I do my best to hold on to that. But that bleed purple feel is not like as strong. People definitely have uh, negative sentiments about whether or not Twitch cares. And Twitch is certainly trying to, you know, make it known that they care, but it
Hmm.
can be really hard to convince the masses,
Oh,
especially.
absolutely. Like actions speak louder than words. Like I know you're a Twitch ambassador and you
Exactly.
do bleed purple and you want the best for Twitch, whereas I've fallen on a more neutral point where like I
Yep.
used to love Twitch with all my heart. I would tell everyone come watch the stream. This is where I'm going to be. This
Yep.
is this is my main platform. I love it here. And then like change after change, update after update, and it's not just Twitch, it's like how the internet has viewed content in general has made me like less favorable about it. I still love Twitch and I
Mm.
love to stream, but there's a reason why I'm not like shouting out, "Hey guys, go follow my Twitch. Hey guys, come watch me on
Yep.
Twitch." And almost everything I do links back to my YouTube now because YouTube has just done such a better
Hmm.
job for me, whether it's pushing my content or helping me be discovered as a
Hmm.
creator, or helping me come up with new ideas for content or anything
Hmm.
like that. Like I remember I used to go
Yeah.
to TwitchCon, and TwitchCon they'd be like, "Hey partners, here's your fancy lounge and here's your nice gifts
Here's
and
our Coke bottle with your
here's a
name
Coke
on
bottle with your
it.
name on it. Here's a fleece blanket that says Twitch partner on it." And I know they can't do all that now because they have like 100,000 plus partners. I get it, but
There's a
like
lot. Not that much, but a lot.
it's getting there. It's almost
Close
there. It
enough
was
at
like
this
70,
point.
80,000 last time I
Yeah, yeah,
checked, but
yeah.
they're getting to a point where it's difficult for them to show special privileges or show that they care to the people who are doing the most for them, and it's just it's not the same anymore. And this isn't my boohoo wah Twitch doesn't care about me anymore, because I've that's what the whole point I'm saying here is that if Twitch isn't going to reach out and be that branch, that olive branch, and have their Pluto or their staff members come into my stream and say hi and help me out with stuff, because that just doesn't happen anymore. I've never seen a Twitch staff member probably the past 5 years.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
like I'll just be
I
like, okay, if they don't want anything to do with me, I'm gonna work on and move over to other social medias that have been working for me, and I'm making money from TikTok now, I'm making money from YouTube now, and
Yeah, I
stuff
feel
like
like
that.
the past like 5, 10 years, we see a lot more of that like connectivity between like staff and creators that was just like more on the like real-time authentic, not because the company told me to do outreach, but just like people genuinely hanging out. And I see like rare moments of that still happening, but
Mm-hmm.
nowadays you're seeing like the creator programs of the world where you'll have the summits of like webinars of like the staff like trying to meet their own quotas and doing it for the sake of like the like uh the check mark of the spreadsheet that the quota they have to fill,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just like the staff just popping in and checking in and just for the heck of it. They still do on like Twitch and stuff, but like it's not as like off prominent as like
With eighty
it
thousand
used to be
partners, is
with
there's only so
80,000.
many Twitch staff members that have so much time to be able to go in and pop in and say hi to all of them. So it's like
Yeah.
I get it. It makes sense. It's just
Yep.
obviously because of that, it's not the same feel as it used to be.
Definitely not. I completely agree with that. And I still
Mm.
love Twitch at its roots, even though it kind of is, it
It's been in
it's
better places. That's what we'll
definitely
say.
been in better places. Yeah, I love this place and it has been in better places.
But that there's still some great moments happening on Twitch, and I did want to at least bring this up because this was a really cool thing that happened the other day and yesterday from the time that we're recording this, but the
Yep.
other day
And
from when everybody
and I'll
hears about it.
I'll match you in a moment with something else.
Oh
So
yeah?
you start with this
We'll
one.
start with this. We'll start with Jinxie officially reaching his peak viewership of over 250,000 while hosting a League of Legends tournament, and he couldn't believe it. He is literally ecstatic with like the amount of love and support he saw for this stream. The chat is moving faster than I can see. What got me was this, because it's like the chat will incrementally
That,
go up so that
yeah,
you can still kind of read it. This is real time. You see all these followers and subs coming in
so crazy.
instantly. Instantly. It's
It's almost hard to
insane.
tell if it's like a Viewbot because I know that Speed has been like streaming on YouTube, for example, and he like did a backflip when his concurrent viewership reached 1 million on YouTube. But it
Mm-hmm.
turns out that only 300,000 of those viewers were real, and YouTube
Mm-hmm.
said the rest were botted. So like
Yeah, I did hear
when
about
you
that.
see
But
a
it's like
frequency like this, it's like, a little eyebrow raising, but like knowing Jinxie and knowing like
knowing how many
the
people were
history
in
that,
this like creator
yeah.
thing to like that he brought together, I could totally see it. But you know what gets me and what's make whether it's view botted or not, and even follow botted, what you can't do is you can't really fake all these prime subs coming in. These are
No,
all
you can't.
individual people coming in and doing this. It's like you can tell those are real. This on the right side, that's real right there. So regardless of if the number actually was 250,000 or whatever, there is still a
I mean,
lot of people there. A lot.
right.
More than
And I
I'll
mean,
ever see, more than maybe you'll ever see. Who knows?
yep. And I mean, it was a big event promoted by Twitch and League of
Mm-hmm.
Legends where
Mm-hmm.
you got an emote for watching 30 minutes, 2 hours gets you these skins. Twitch drops were used here as well to incentivize viewers to tune in. It became the fourth most viewed League of Legends event of the year so far.
Wow.
Across Twitch and YouTube combined, peaking at over 830,000 viewers. And we saw how crazy it was at Twitch. 350K it even went up to at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So it peaked with hundreds of thousands of viewers, brought multiple communities together with the 40 different streamers that were involved in the League of Legends event, and kind of essentially created history because it's pretty rare that we are seeing that kind of viewership numbers for individual channels. I mean, it brings me back to the Ninja days, right, of
Mm-hmm. I
his
was
big
thinking that too.
streams. So yeah, it is.
You said you had
It's
one
it's
as well, though?
pretty. Yes, I did. Kind of on the off Twitch side, but still very much related to Twitch, is something to do with this cute little charity you may or may not have heard of called Alveus Sanctuary, run by Maya Higa. Maya Higa actually just dropped their TED Talk that they gave very recently on the TED Talk stage about their animal conservation work, wildlife conservation work, with Alveus Sanctuary, talking about these animals, sharing the story in front of the TED Talks like audience, which is a huge deal, revealing that she raised over $7.5 million
Wow.
from live streaming on Twitch for Alveus Sanctuary. For animal conservation causes around the world as well since 2019, and that 250 million people have been taught about animal conservation education online just in 2025 alone. Maya is helping reach like younger audiences as well and helping raise awareness. She talks about in this episode how she got her start as like a zookeeper in college, and then she started being able to like live stream on Twitch after finding out that like her friends were streaming video games, but
Mm-hmm.
she started converting it with her um, like love for wildlife and nature and animal care. And she did this TED Talk in Vancouver probably about a month ago, and
Hmm.
now it is officially out and is just like a fantastic representation of like, you know, the power that Twitch does have, which is why so many people do love it.
Mm-hmm.
Even through all its flaws and all its continued and even justified controversies. This is like the impact of not just Twitch, but of live streaming in general.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that like you never know where you can go with it. I mean, Maya's literally around my age, and she is inspiring millions of people to, you know, learn more about like these endangered species and these facilities that they are building. And now she's like out there in Central Texas raising money pretty much every day to like, support this fantastic overarching cause. And I mean, Twitch has supported in a big way. She just like was on the Twitch channel the other day, like kicking off like an IRL thing and also raising awareness for Avea Sanctuary. But this is a really big deal because, like, I mean, I don't know of many Twitch streamers that have given TED Talks. And I think it's cool when there's any opportunities to bridge the gap between like, you know, the live streaming
The Twitch
sector
streamer to TED Talk pipeline is not
and
a
TED
big
Talk
one.
pipe. It sure isn't. So yeah, I think it's pretty incredible how Maya is continuing to like educate this like global, you know, pretty young audience around the world about wildlife. I do think that Maya is the first Twitch streamer to deliver a talk on a flagship mains TED Talk stage, which is just pretty extraordinary. It is trailblazing. And
Hmm.
you know, it's just you know, when I think of like like shining examples of like the power of not just Twitch but of live streaming as a medium, which I'm very passionate about, I think of Maya. So that's why I wanted to give her flowers and her
Hmm.
shout out.
I like that. That was very cool.
Yeah, do you have any like thoughts or takes on it?
No, just that I think it's very
Yeah,
cool. There's not too many pipelines from Twitch. Usually they end up going the other way, where it's Twitch to a lesser profession. But it's really cool whenever people use it as a stepping stone to move further and move higher and expand their reach, not just for themselves, but for like a great cause. And it goes to show that anyone who is streaming right now, you might not know where your life is going to be 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that
yeah.
Twitch streaming could be that first step. You never know.
You never know. I think it's amazing to see like an argument that like the internet is building like the next generation of conservationalists
Mm-hmm.
or converse yeah, that word. Better than like zoos can. It's so fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
The reach that she's had. So yeah, I just love it. I don't
I
know.
love
She's
that.
cool.
I do.
Yeah.
All right, before we wrap it up
Anyways.
today, I have a very, very small game. It's not a big one. We'll do a really big one next time we meet, but for right now,
Hey.
we have a little small one because I was talking about Twitch records and whatnot. So I put together one really, really fun little thing. I did this like right before we started recording. Is this little match the Twitch streamer to the year that they broke the Twitch sub record, because the Twitch sub record has been
Ooh.
broken over and over again throughout many years. And
Uh
we're going back as
okay.
far as 2018 and going as more recent as 2025. We have 4 streamers on the right, and we have 5 dates in which the highest sub count
Okay.
have been broken
So this will imply one of these creators breaking it
twice.
multiple
They
times.
sure did.
Okay. Right.
So on the
Cool.
right, we
So
have
yep,
Ninja, Ludwig, Kai Cenat, and Iron Mouse. I'm sure you're familiar with all of them.
I'm familiar with all of them, and I know there are other creators that have also like gone to big
They've
heights with
gotten
the
very
sub
high. There
record.
was another guy that had he had the peak at the time. It just didn't break the record, and so I just didn't put it
Ah,
on the list. But there are people that every single year, like between 2018 and 2021, somebody else had like the peak subscriber count, but it didn't
yeah.
surpass the person who had it in 2018.
All
So
right.
these are just like the
So
dates in which it was the peak was broken.
mhm. So I do want to throw Ninja at the top
You're gonna
at
put Ninja at the
2018.
top. Ninja here 2018. That is
What?
correct. That was during
Yeah.
his stream with Drake, if you remember that.
What? I didn't just bring that up
Whoa,
earlier.
that's
Just yeah.
crazy.
All
Whoa.
right. 2021, I
Mm-hmm.
am going to say okay, so for 2021, let's say I don't think Kai Cenat got his footing just yet. I'm gonna say Ludwig.
It was Ludwig. Do you know what Ludwig did in 2021 that broke the sub record?
Was it the subathon that
It
he did?
was the
Yep.
subathon. I should have mixed these up. I'm realizing that this just goes straight across. I had mixed it up at first, and this is how it came out randomly, and it did. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Anyway.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I do want to say then I'm gonna put definitely Kai Cenat at 2023.
Kai Cenat was not
Then it was
2023.
Ludwig.
It wasn't Ludwig either.
Oh, it was Iron Mouse,
No,
huh?
it was Iron Mouse. Iron Mouse broke the
Okay,
record in
that is interesting
2023. Mm-hmm.
because I was gonna put Iron Mouse in 2025, but maybe
Iron
I'm
Mouse
wrong.
wasn't even 2025.
Okay, that's cool. So I was wrong. I had
It's
the
okay.
first two
It's like
right.
the more recent years kind of get muddled together because it broke so
They
many
do
times back to
because
back.
I also just think about like Hype Train records being broken as well, which is a separate thing.
Hmm.
So that also mixes it up a little bit. Kai Cenat though is probably going to be 2025 for sure because
Kai
that was
Cenat was
recent.
2025 with his Mafia thon. So who
I don't
was
know if
the huh?
I don't know. I
It
don't
wasn't
know
the
if the
first
Mafia
Mafia-thon, I don't think. It was
yeah,
either the
because
second or third that broke. I think it was the third one that broke the all-time record at over 1 million subscribers.
yeah, I did Ludwig do it again in 2024 or
He
was it
did
Kai?
not. It wasn't. And who was your second guess?
Kai.
It wasn't Kai
It
either.
was it was Iron
It
Mouse,
was
huh?
Iron Mouse twice.
So
Iron Mouse
twice.
did it in
Okay.
2023 and then again in 2024. And then
That's
Kai
pretty
Cenat
based.
broke it in 2025. So
Nah,
that's your
that's
fun
cool.
little like. I really should have mixed up
Okay.
these ones a little bit, maybe move them.
No,
But yeah,
it's
no, there's
no.
this. I wanted to do this fun little game because I put it together and I thought you'd enjoy
No.
that.
It is interesting like
Mm-hmm.
how these records have like changed over time and how they've been broken. And yeah, I
And just
mean
kind of the
it,
growth of Twitch where you see like Ninja was
yeah.
all the rave in 2018, but then Ludwig was the big guy in 2021, and then VTubing took over and Iron Mouse was kind of the head of all of Twitch in 2023 and 2024, but that's also when it shifted into Kai Cenat, and Kai Cenat was the big guy coming out of 2024 and going into 2025, and even now you're seeing, the big names are different every single day. In 2026, everybody's watching Queso and Jinxie, and you never know who's going to be
Did
the
you
next
see
big
the
dog.
did you see the little like documentary kind of video that was
Oh,
put out
like
about
the thing
Queso?
about being Queso? I
Yeah.
didn't see it, but I saw that it
It's
existed. It keeps
good.
popping up on
It's
my
very
like
good.
For you. There was one that was made about Ludwig as
Yeah.
well. That one was also really
Because
really
I
good.
mean, if you do look at like these like top three like streamers, because Iron Mouse's production value, yes, has absolutely increased as well. But
Hmm.
when you think about their room setups, like in the early days, and then you look at like where they are now, where they
Hmm.
have like the background is not in their bedroom. It is intentional where it's like
It's like an
it's either
entire office.
themed,
It's almost
it's an
like
office,
I'm not gonna say
it's
that mine is on their level, but they would have a room like this where they don't just have
yes,
stuff in the background. They have intentional things that they interact with, and even so is they'll create
it's
studios or rent out studios
yeah.
and do entire like events in that studio. Like I don't know, like anytime that Kai Cenat does a Mafia-thon, he like rents out a whole house, and you've seen the
It's a
production behind
mansion.
that,
Yep.
right? Let me see if I can get
Yep.
a video of that, or at least a
And
picture of that.
the whole idea, the point is like, yeah, you
Hitting the wrong
see
button.
how the production value has to increase in order to stay on the top, but then you have Queso come in where like he barely changes anything about his setup, and like it's a massive OCD thing where like, if one thing is a little bit different, it makes such a big like, it
Mm-hmm.
shakes things up for him. Like he keeps it the same. Meanwhile, you got like
Yeah, yeah, you got like,
yeah.
hold on. Oh, I don't want to. I don't want
We're
to
just gonna
log
mic
in.
him real quick.
Right? Can I just mute this? Okay, yeah, this is like the background where like all the different
Yep.
cameras and setups they have for Mafia-thon is like this huge production, and then Queso's in his living room ranking cheeseburgers. You
Yep.
don't know who's gonna be the next big dog because you could put all this effort, and like usually effort does go a long way. Like if you're putting this much effort into it, you're probably going to be rewarded with that viewership. But then Queso and his like, oh, that's the cheeseburger from like, have you seen the Queso Rakes cheeseburgers or Queso burger? I bet you it comes up. Yeah, yeah,
Whose
yeah, yeah.
burger?
Oh no.
Can I like find this on YouTube?
It is on YouTube.
There we go. Okay, where he can like tell you.
That I get at least one of these wrong.
He gets every single one of these right. He looks at it and he goes, "I know exactly where this burger is from."
Please let me get one wrong.
This is one of the first
It's
things
so
I ever
funny.
saw from Queso, and it's probably one of the things that really like blew him up in the first place.
Oh, no.
That's Burger King. Yeah, no, I've seen that one. That one's got to be Red Robin.
And
That's
it's
Red
like
Robin.
relatable too.
It
Like how
is
much
because it's like you
how
kind
many
of play
people
along and.
how many people in the chat also had all of this right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's very funky. Yeah. I really like appreciate Queso is as well, just from like the
The
fact that
authentic
he kind of
standpoint.
he goes against the trend of like you have to increase your production value and run these big events in
That's
order
in
to
and
like
out.
break the records and break the viewership numbers. But
Mm-hmm.
here you have Queso that is just himself, and he just wanted to like get out of his job, and he, is someone that I think a lot of people can like look up to and relate to, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just good to see someone like that succeed.
Oh,
So on that
absolutely.
note, yeah, and then we look at the streamers that you brought to the table with the game, and it's like, yeah, their streams have changed so much since like they started and already worked their way up to that point, and then like built it even higher, and that's how the ceiling is raised, by getting that higher production value.
Mm-hmm.
But Queso is showing
Queso
that
probably doesn't even do
maybe you
that.
don't
He
have
just he
to.
can sit in his living room forever and people would love him, and I love that about him.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting lens into what streaming is,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because there's also a lot of talk about all the clip farming too.
I
And
hate the clip farming meta. It's
yeah,
so
and how
I
like the
just want to
top
play video games and have fun and be positive.
yeah, yeah, and how like top creators on different platforms, Twitch, Kick, etc., like have these teams of creators and like people behind the scenes like clipping for them, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how they're getting to play into the algorithms and get
I
their
mean, Tim the
popularity
Tapmate's been
up.
doing that for years, right? Like he was ahead of the curve on that.
That's true, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
um but yeah, streaming is so much more than just clip farming and high
Mm-hmm.
production value, and that's kind of what I uh thrive to showcase. So I don't know. Yeah, that was a very interesting game though. Like
Yeah,
looking at
this
like
was a
top
really
sub
insightful
records.
conversation. This whole this last 45 minutes talking about Twitch and creators and stuff. I think that was some of our best work.
Hey, I'm always down to talk Twitch.
Mm-hmm. You
And
know a lot about it.
yeah, I'm not scared to like throw an opinion or a negative like
A
remark, because
constructive
I
criticism is
certainly
what we'll call it.
construct that part. We'll say
Mm-hmm.
construct. Well, that's correct, and I'm not afraid to throw constructive criticisms. Just know that I speak on behalf of myself and not on behalf of a big giant corporation. So
Amen, brother. Amen. With that being
yeah.
said, we'll wrap it up today. What is your game shout out of the week? Any one game you've been playing recently or want people to check out? You could
Hmm.
also do you could do
Uh,
multiple. We usually do, but at least one.
Yeah, I won't say mixtape because it's obvious, but also play mixtape. That's my zeroth shout out.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll call it that. My zeroth shout out. Um, Gosh, I will also go ahead and do a shout out for, you know what? One of my fellow charity stream team members, Maury, he gave me a beta key towards Loftia, which I don't know if you've heard about that one. Have you?
I have not heard of that. I don't know what that is.
Really?
No.
Okay, 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 okay. I'm not like saying really. How dare you? No,
How
Loftia.
dare I?
How
As
dare
much
you?
as you play video games, can't believe you haven't heard of it.
Well, it is an MMO, but it's also a cozy MMO, and it's all about like building a sustainable city on an island. That it gives that like Palia kind of vibe, maybe a little bit of Stardew Valley. Um, yeah, it was in closed beta for a while, and I got a beta key, so I just have
Yay!
to call that out. Yeah, I'll shout out Loftia because it definitely has a lot of attention within the cozy gaming community. So I think if you haven't looked into that one, uh, give it a glance. Check it out. That's my shout out.
That's a good shout out. I like that shout out. All right. My shout out is Tetris. I've had Tetris playing on the TV the entire time. I don't know if anyone noticed, but
Love Tetris.
I
Have you seen the
literally
movie? What do you think of the
I
movie?
haven't seen the movie. I should see the movie. But it's on
What?
Apple
Oh my
TV. It's
God.
on Apple TV. I don't have Apple TV. Who has Apple TV?
Go watch it. It's
Okay.
good.
I'll think about it. So Tetris is a good, but no, seriously, my actual shout out. Oh, I had one. Oh, I had one just a minute ago, and I just oh no,
Sorry,
I
I
got a couple. I
distracted
got
you
a
with the
couple.
movie.
No, you're good. I got a couple. So one of them is Little Kitty Big City, because starting today they're doing their collaboration with the Amazing Digital Circus, so you can get a Pomni plush as well
Yep.
as a Jax outfit in the game right now. So Little Kitty Big City is a game I've been covering like ever since its inception, because it's just one of those that like reached out to me and was like, this is going to be a good gameplay, and I was like, okay. So that is one of my shout outs. The other one is going to be BioShock, because I am going to start playing BioShock tomorrow, and it is such a great game. If you've never played BioShock, I get it. It came out in like 2008. It is an older game, but they've remastered it. It is available on all platforms. You have no reason to say that you can't play it, because it's available everywhere. And it's usually on sale or cheap. It is a fantastic experience, and I've wanted to play that game so badly again. That way I had the opportunity to talk about it. So play BioShock, fantastic game.
Yeah, you reminded me to also shout out. I'm surprised I didn't even like throw it in to like have us look at it on the screen, but
Mm-hmm.
there's been a lot of people playing Conan Exiles lately. That has become a game that has started trending. I noticed a lot of people playing it, and the thing I should have put for us to look up was that they announced a few days ago that they reached a new record high for concurrent players on Steam in
Wow.
4 years.
That's
It reached
crazy.
over 40,000 concurrent players, which was a new record a few days ago in the past 4 years that this game is like existed. It got a massive like free Unreal Engine 5 upgrade, so a lot of people started like looking into it and a lot of people started playing it. So I will shout out Conan Exiles Enhanced. Um it has just gotten a lot of people playing it.
I mean, if
I have
there's one
noticed
thing
that.
I've learned from Among Us, it's that you, even though a game just came out, like its peak might not hit for several years after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, it's the 8 year anniversary, so like it's kind of cool to see like how the game has just like taken off in terms of like there are creators making content on this game right now. It's pretty incredible.
That's
So
pretty cool. Hey, maybe Toontown hasn't hit its peak yet. You never know.
maybe who the heck
Maybe.
knows? I don't know. But
Anyway,
yeah.
that was our little show today. Thank you guys for watching so much. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Just be on the lookout for all the new episodes. We try to go every week. It's more like every other week, but we try to go every week. So we'll see
Yeah,
you guys next
we'll
week, but
see
not
y'all
really.
next time when I'm back
Next
in
time,
DreamHack. Yeah.
whenever that
See
is.
y'all next time.
Next time.
All right.
Anyway, have a good one. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hold on, I gotta. Where's the button?